It's called the awakening body. So obviously it's to do with the body, but essentially it's not to do with the body. It's to do with our true nature, whatever we might like to name that. And there are many a word for it. It's really an exploration of consciousness, or we could say our essential nature, or we could say God, or we could say the field out of which everything arises, right? So this is what we're really interested in, and that this is our deepest impulse. And I know each one of you, I mean, obviously you've been maybe following the Course of Miracles or whatever, but you know, you're not following these pathways out of a desire to understand what the body is, even though you might be interested in that. You're coming because there's a very deep intuition and a rather subtle longing for something that is not matter-like or object-like. And yet here I am offering an exploration that involves the body. So why? Well, the reason is that a lot of explorations that we conduct when we are on a spiritual path, we conduct it with our minds, which is absolutely fair game and important. And there's a lot of writings, there's a lot of pathways and formulations and books and ways that we can think, pose questions to ourselves and to a teaching or a teacher, and answer them or be answered via the mind, via higher reasoning, even via parables and teachings Jesus taught in symbolic ways. There are many, many pathways that involve, you could say, the mind or an imaginal way of thinking. And of course, it always involves the heart. So I'm really not suggesting that any of this is better or not, you know, it's just that at some point on the journey, it's very important to include the realm of the so-called realm of the body. And of course, I need to tell you what I mean by that, but definitely a realm that is not to do with concepts, that is to do with tactility, with feeling, with emotions. And again, we're not interested per se in the body, in feelings, tactility, emotions, but we want to discover our true nature in another way than through concepts. We want to feel our true nature. We want to understand at a feeling level, at a sort of tactile level, what it is that is meant when I hear things like, I'm not limited to the body, or my true nature is borderless, I was never born, I don't die. Those kinds of ideas that we might glimpse through a process of didactic exploration. But what about glimpsing them on a vibrational level, on a sort of felt level? So that's a little bit, it's very hard to talk about this in a way that's correct, but I'm doing my best. But so that is why it's important to embark on an exploration that really takes the body as its object of contemplation. Because in a way, then, we can't rely on concepts. And if we're honest, I think each one of us, myself included, we tend to sometimes grab a concept, a spiritual concept, a spiritual body of concepts, a whole framework of spiritual knowledge. And we tend to sort of create a sense of security with that, a sense of identity. And it has its limit. You know, if we do that, then we're doing the same old, identifying with a sort of belief, and now it's a spiritual belief, and I have all my concepts in place, and I can argue it, and I can walk myself back, and therefore I feel safe. But what and who is feeling safe? That very old, same old person, limited person. So the sort of advantage, you could say, of going to the body and not bringing concepts is that we get to really see the impulse of seeking security. We're just being with our experience, and we're not given concepts, we're not given ideas. So we're going to have an opportunity to really witness the impulse towards security, towards locating myself, defining myself, limiting myself, because that's what the ego does. It thinks that is going to, that's how the ego sort of asserts and perpetuates itself. Anyway, so that's the sort of idea. That's the concept around this approach.